Hello everyone, it's Dawn and welcome back. And what I'm going to do, sorry there's been a bit of a gap, but I've had a bit of a revamp on this channel and I'm returning it to my original intention, which was painting in watercolour. And I'm still going to be doing a bit of crafting along the way, but it'll be with some of the paintings and some of the techniques and tricks that we do. So let's get started straight away. So you'll still see lots to do. So I know some of you, even from crafting, have said that you're interested in painting. So let's get on with some painting. And we're going to start this one with I'm just going to go through some of the materials that you're likely to need. So you'll need things like, obviously, watercolour paper. You'll need some paints, some brushes, a palette, something to put your brushes in, like a brush pot. And you'll see what else that I use as we go along. So let's get started. We're going to take that away. And we're going to use watercolour paper. Obviously, there will be no demonstration today. I won't be doing any painting today. That'll come in the next video. But I always use A3 300 GSM watercolour paper. It's a good, strong watercolour paper. And if you're using it to make other products, such as greeting cards, 300 GSM is a good, strong base. And it'll take just about anything that you can throw at it. So GSM, incidentally, a lot of people have asked me what it stands for. It's grams per square metre. So it just gives you the strength of our paper. So mine is always an A3. You can get bigger, you can get smaller, but it's up to you. It depends really what type of paints you like to do or subjects you like to do. And of course, speaking of paints, you will need some paint. So let's just leave that there. And I'll bring mine in here. It's just over on the other side of my table. So here are my paints. I use the Winsor & Newton Cotman paints. I use the 21mm, but of course you can use the 8mm if you want to. That's absolutely fine, or whatever brand of paints you like to use. Now this is a good basic starting set. So if you've never painted before, you know what it's like. You go into a paint shop and you see tons and tons of colours and tons of brushes, and you think, what the heck do I buy? Where do I start? It can be a bit overwhelming. So I'm going to give you a quick guide as to a good basic starter. So these are my 8 starting ones. So I've got Cobalt Blue, Cadmium Yellow, Cadmium Red, Sap Green, Burnt Sienna, Yellow Ochre, Burnt Umber, and Payne's Grey. And I will write all of these in the description box below. You don't have to remember them. And you might have noticed, if I pull that down a bit, there's little pans in the corner. Now these are empty pans, full pans, whole pans. And what I use them for, as you get more experienced in painting, you will find that you've got favourite mixes or combinations of colours that you like. And I just mix them up and put them in my pan so that they're ready to go. And I'll be showing you what I mean by that and how we go about it as we go along in this new series. So that is the basic set, or what I would recommend as the basic layout. And you'll find that you'll probably want others as you go along. Oh, I could do with an extra pink, or I could do with this. And you'll discover that as you go along. So then you can just add to your collection as you want to. And then let's just pop that to one side for a minute. Because as well as paints, of course, you will need some brushes. Now, I've got a variety of flats and rounds here. Now, I always use the SAA brushes because they're good. And there are lots of others which are just as good. For example, the Winsor & Newton brushes, even the Cotman brushes. Nothing wrong with them at all. They're a good, strong brush. So I'm just going to pop that down just a fraction so that you can see a bit better. That's better. Now, I've got here, this is just a basic set to get you started. We've got a nice big, it's called an easy flat, and it's about an inch and a half, I guess. Let's get my ruler. I'll soon tell you how big it is. I think it's about an inch-ish. It is, yes, it's an inch wide. So an inch wide flat will be great. That is called a flat mate, which is about a ½ inch. Then we've got a number 14 round, a number 6 round, and a rigger. So again, I will add all of this in the description below for your startup if that's what you're interested in. And you've got your paints, you've got your brushes, and this big tray that you saw that I had everything on. Let me just pop that off to one side and you can see it a bit better. This is actually my palette. And all it is a square, well it's not square, it's a rectangular plastic tray. That's all you need. You don't need anything fancy. Of course you can buy the ones with the wells in it if you want to, that's entirely up to you. But this is what I use for a palette. And when we were talking about brushes, just a word about how you look after your brushes. And incidentally, talking of brushes, I'm going to show you what I put my brushes in. I use this, I know it's a bit difficult to see from that camera angle, but all that is, it's a desk tidy. It's not even an art product, it's just a desk tidy. A wire desk tidy, and I've got all my other brushes in there, and I've got a few other bits and pieces. So we'll see what we do with those as we go along, but just a little word about the care of your brushes. When you're painting, in fact the other thing I forgot to bring with me, I've got a small bucket which I use when I'm painting for my water. I have it, it's not a huge bucket, it's just a little one, about so high, about 8-10 inches high, and I would have brought it down, but yours will look a lot cleaner than mine, I'm sure. The next video that I do will be on Monday now, and that's a lot cleaner than this. Yours will be a lot cleaner than mine because it's well used and well loved, and I'll show you my bucket in my next video. But to wash them out, so if you have a nice big bucket or biggish bucket, a little jam jar is not really much good. But if you use a nice big water container, you can swish your brushes and clean them, and at the end of your painting session, if you take them into the kitchen and run them under running water, clean them under running water. But I would avoid using soap on your brushes, because if you get the soap in the fibres, you might not get it out, and then you'll ruin your brush and it won't paint, especially with watercolour. So I think that's just about covered the basics. And so that's what we need. We just need a few brushes and a few paints to get started, and a little bit of knowledge about the care of our brushes. So that's really all you need to get started. And I'm going to leave you with that for today, and I will be coming back on Mondays and Thursdays for our regular tutorials. And if anything else occurs which I think you might be interested in, I will come back in the meantime. I might have a few tricks and techniques up my sleeve that I'll come back and show you outside of the regular. And as I've said, I'm not going to disappear from crafting altogether. What I might be doing, there are a few videos on this channel already which have shown you, I think they're called paintings to products. So I've shown how I can turn, or anybody can turn paintings into products. So there are a few there just to keep you going or get you started. And I'll be back on Monday with the start of our regular tutorials. And I'll be showing you a few useful mixes, how to mix a decent selection of greens and a few other colours as well. So I'll be back Monday. So have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy the rest of the week, and I'll see you Monday. And in the meantime, thank you for watching this. And if you haven't already and you really are interested in painting, do hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, and then you'll always be told or advised when the new tutorials come up. So stay safe everybody, have fun, and happy painting. See you soon.